Welcome to the Rabbit Hole Fantasy Football Podcast. Thoughts, analysis, and information to help you succeed in your fantasy football leagues. I am your host, Chad Lyon, and joining me is Nick Hunsicker.
Yo!
And our producer, Mitchell Bird.
Hello!
This is our Week 10 Thursday Night Football Germany game and Sunday 1 o'clock game slate preview. How's Nicholas?
I'm so great!
Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, happy to be here.
We skipped Monday. Work.
Yeah, I get it.
Life in the way.
Yeah,
Mm.
It is what it is. We have a top 3 list today.
sure do.
Top 3. Ready?
Oh, yeah.
Girl Scout cookies.
Oh,
Ooh.
look, I'm such a fat boy.
Let's start with Mitchell.
Oh, good thing you started with me because I've never actually, not in my mind that I know I've had Girl Scout cookies. Sorry, guys.
Such a loser.
That's
I'm sorry.
crazy.
I'm just
crazy.
So, well, tell me, what should I get?
Yeah.
Tell him, Nick.
All right. So my number one is Thin Mints.
All right.
It's a chocolate covered mint cracker. If you like toothpaste, some
So it's a
people
toothpaste
say
cookie. I knew
it
some
was
people
coming.
say that. I love them.
Chocolate toothpaste cookies.
Yeah, pretty
Let's
much. I love them. My number 2 is Girl Scout s'mores. It's like a shortbread cookie, and then it's got chocolate and like a marshmallow fudge inside of it. They're super good. And then my last one, they don't make them anymore, but they're called Raspberry Rallies. It's basically a Thin Mint, but instead of the mint cracker inside, it's just raspberry filling.
Ooh.
Those are super good.
All
Sounds
right.
good.
I miss those.
I'm going to go with tagalongs because it's like a wafer cookie, right? Like a kind of like a vanilla wafer cookie
Yeah.
with some peanut butter and covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
Sounds
it's
good.
yes, it's a crunchy Reese's cookie.
Yeah,
That's essentially what it
pretty
is.
much.
2 is Samoa's. You will not like this. It's
Coconut.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, it's coconut chocolate caramel.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hate them.
You can keep it.
I don't like coconut.
I like
though.
them. They're soft. They're good.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. And the third one would be s'mores. I don't love them.
Yeah.
They're fine. I really only care for the top 2.
Yeah, sure.
The
Sure.
top one mainly.
Yeah.
Tagalongs. Peanut butter
Thin
and
Mints,
chocolate.
I would get like 3 boxes a year, put 2 in the freezer. Thin Mints in the freezer are the best way to eat Thin Mints.
So it's like the jalapeno
Like the
Cheetos
jalapeno Cheetos.
Hey.
in the
Yeah.
freezer.
Yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Well, that's
Another episode.
that's another episode for sure. All
Dive
right.
into that.
Shall we get into football?
Love it.
All right, let's start with Thursday night football, and we'll go with the Bengals at the Ravens. Joe Burrow. Boom week versus the Raiders last week, 34 fantasy points. I expect it to continue against a pretty terrible Ravens pass defense. What do you think?
I think so too. I expect some pretty big things out of the offense here.
What's the latest on T. Higgins? He's in danger, right? Is he doubtful?
Doubtful.
Okay. It's probably still fine.
Yeah.
So you're starting Jamar Chase. When I say it's fine, it's probably Burrow's probably still fine.
Yeah.
It's much better with him though. But you didn't have him last week. 34 fantasy points. I'd start Burrow no matter what. You're starting Chase. With no Higgins. Is it Gesicki?
Hey, you know it. You know it. Gesicki's going.
The trend is right there. It's
Yeah.
pretty clear.
It's glaringly obvious that Gesicki is the option when Higgins is out.
I don't want to call him must start when Higgins is out, but he's a fine start. I mean,
2 weeks.
And I'm only saying that because the chances that have to have Gesicki this week is probably slim-ish.
Yeah,
but
it depends.
if you
I guess
do-
it depends.
if
Yeah,
you do,
he's a
he's-
great start.
yeah. We've been, as far as guys that have been picked up, Ertz is one that we've been hammering home about. I would start Gesicki over Ertz
I would, yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
He seems to get just like a couple targets a game, and then Higgins misses week 8 and 9, and Gesicki gained 8 targets in week 8, caught 7 for 73, 12 PPR points. I think he lost a fumble. Still serviceable. Week 9, 6 targets, caught 5 for 102 touchdowns, 27 PPR points.
Yeah.
Minus Higgins, it's a thing. So
Yeah.
over Ertz, over all these guys essentially throughout the year so far that you've been pulling off waivers, over like Hunter Henry.
Yep.
I'm playing him over those guys. Chase Brown blew right up last week, 26 PPR points against the lowly Raiders. But
It's a much different defense.
yeah, how do we feel this week?
Yeah, the Ravens only allow 75.7 yards per game, so you're not feeling great. They're the best rush defense in football.
They are. Javonte was able to get 10 PPR points last week. I mean, I still think Chase Brown is a worthy flex.
Yeah, I don't love it.
If you're searching for 10
if you're
points,
searching for
I don't know where else you're going to go find him. You know, I would like to if I've been starting him as as a flex, I would hope that I'd have like a receiver on my bench or something. But if I have to, I'd still feel okay with it. Chase Brown he's an explosive running back.
Yeah,
and
I like Chase Brown. It's just the defense really scares me.
The opportunities are there. Zach Moss is beat up. They just brought in Khalil Herbert. Like, it's his show.
Yeah, so should be.
Yeah, say it all the time. Chase the volume.
That's right.
Right. Lamar.
Don't even worry about it.
Come on. Even Denver's defense is rock solid. 26 fantasy points and did nothing on the ground.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, all in the air. 280 passing yards, 3 touchdowns. Love to see that.
Yep.
He said it and forget it. I mean, what more do you really say? I think he keeps it going right into Thursday. You get another great outing against a not so good Bengals defense.
Right.
So you're happy to have Lamar. Zay Flowers. He is so good.
So good.
He's still. I wonder if there's people out there that are I've just heard it and read it in the fantasy community that people are starting to wonder if Zay is like a receiver one. He's still just in case anyone's thinking that, to me, he's still a 2, just because the Ravens, they tend to control games with the run more often than not, which it does affect Zay negatively sometimes. On the flip side, though, when they do throw, not only does he have the majority of the target share, he doesn't need a ton of targets to give solid PPR output. Right. He just does so much with the ball. Against the Broncos, for example, a team with a solid pass defense, 6 targets.
That's it.
Caught 5. 127 yards, 2 touchdowns, 29 PPR points. He is unreal with the ball in his hands in space. What he did with 3 defenders right in front of his face was that was awesome. And at the end of the day, Baltimore knows how to use this guy.
Yeah.
As run heavy as they are, they know what they're doing with him. They know what they have. Coaching matters. He's got 4 games with 10 or less PPR points. He's got 5 games with 18 or more.
Yeah.
11th in targets with 67. He has a 27.7 target share. That's 27.7% target share. That's
ridiculous.
That's 9th. 96% route participation. He's always on the field. 15th in total route wins with 101. You'll take that. Yards per team pass attempt, 2.6. That's 4th.
He gets the pass.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah.
All that said, there's also you can forget all the metrics and the advanced. You can forget all that. There's something to be said with just the eye test for Zay Flowers. I think this kid, he's different. You can see it. He's unreal with the ball. I'm never not starting Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I would start him every week if I had him.
He's in my receiver 2 slot every single week.
Yep.
And I'm not moving off.
And I think adding Deontay Johnson just helped. I think it does.
It's not going to affect him.
No.
Speaking to Deontay Johnson, any interest this week?
Not yet. I think it will come. Because Deontay Johnson is a good receiver. He's a great separator, good route runner. It will work eventually. But the way that they run the ball, like you mentioned, it kind of phases him out a little bit. But when they need him, he's good football player.
Sure.
Maybe not so much for fantasy this year.
Yeah, it's tough to be not the guy.
Yeah.
In this offense. And because, before they really had a receiver to throw to, it was Mark Andrews.
Right.
Mark Andrews is not the guy now. And what do we see? Big fall off.
Yep.
So yeah, he's gonna make the team better in real life.
Yeah.
But fantasy receiver 2 on Baltimore that's tough for me.
Yeah.
That's really tough. You're starting Derrick Henry. Unbelievable. MVP?
I don't
They
know.
never give it to running backs.
It's a quarterback award. We don't have to get into it. Should have been CMC.
That's lame.
Yeah.
Right. Let me ask you this. Mark Andrews or Mike Gesicki this week?
Gesicki.
Isn't that crazy to say? It's so weird.
Yeah.
So weird. Would you start Andrews?
You might be able to get away with it.
It's like 5 targets a game, basically.
You
I mean,
might be
that's
able to
what
get away with it.
Gesicki's getting.
And Likely's out this week.
Okay.
So that increased. I mean, Likely's only been getting 3 or so targets on average, but that's 3 more targets to Mark Andrews possibly. So
okay. Got anything else for that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Move on to the Germany game. The Giants at the Panthers. Why do we send these terrible games overseas? The NFL is like, here you go, Germany. Have a look at some of our worst products.
Don't understand it.
Are you interested? This is terrible.
Do you love this football?
It's so bad. Why are they? You knew at the beginning they can't give me this crap either. Like, whoa, we weren't quite sure.
We didn't know
at that point.
Be.
We didn't know how they were going to. It's the Giants and the Panthers.
You
knew things were going to be tough. Like the Giants are getting better, but you knew things were going to just be a little rocky. Yeah, they're not quite there. You know, the Panthers are nowhere near there. Like, what are we doing?
I don't know.
For the Giants, you're starting Neighbors. I think we can go ahead and start Tyrone Tracy as like a flex, even a pinch situation RB2.
Yeah,
or maybe just an RB2.
I think he's RB2 this week.
Yeah, against the Panthers, no problem.
Yeah.
Struggled against Washington last week, but 2 things. He saw the volume with 17 total touches to Singletary's 7. So chase the volume. And that's been pretty clear cut to this point.
Yep.
And I think, number 2, we need to start giving Washington's defense a little bit of credit here up front.
Yeah.
It's
their
kind
front
of becoming a
seven's
trend.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're not making things real easy for anyone. So I'll give Tracy a pass there. Carolina's dead last against a running back position. I've got confidence in Tracy through and through. Wan'Dale Robinson has not scored more than 8 PPR points in 3 straight games. Flex bounce back this week?
This week, I think he's a flex option.
It feels good, right?
Yeah.
All right. You ready? Xavier Legette.
Yeah.
13 targets in his last 2. Touchdown in back-to-back games. 14 PPR points in back-to-back games.
If he didn't get hurt with his wrist last week, they were throwing the ball to him like every other play.
Yeah. The Giants are 16th against the receiver position. Legette is absolutely trending in the right direction.
Yep.
Opportunities are there. Chase the opportunity. And what are we seeing? All of a sudden, we're getting some volume, right?
Yep.
What's your faith level? Well, what is Legette to you this week?
A flex. Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah. Because Thielen could still come back. I haven't seen if they activated him or not. So I'm not 100% sure. But if Thielen comes back, that's what puts me in like the flex. I
think it's flex regardless.
I
don't want to because
Thielen he eats a lot of targets.
Sure.
So that's what scares me a little bit.
I just go kind of this way. Like when I think of a flex player, I'm thinking 10 to 14 points.
Yeah.
And anything above that is great.
Great.
You know?
Sure.
That's kind of where Legette is for me right now.
Yep.
But I do agree. He doesn't get hurt. Maybe we're looking at 18.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
I think he would have had a really great day.
But it's also not that the Giants are world beaters against receivers, but this is still a team with Bryce Young. Like, you're putting faith there. So to me, I'm just not willing to go past a flex. I probably won't for the year, but I'm really interested in him in Dynasty.
Yeah.
Very interested. I do want to see the Panthers maybe draft another quarterback, do something. I just don't think Bryce
grab
Young.
One from somebody else.
That's fine too.
Yeah, I just don't see it this year, but
yeah, it's Bryce Young for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
Dynasty though, tons of interest. And redraft, I have interest. It's just nothing beyond a flex yet. I like the guy. I like what I'm seeing. I especially love when he rides a Bronco up the sideline. He looks so excited when he does it. I heard him say asparagus this morning.
Berg.
Dude, it's so funny. The guy's great.
He's so fun.
True Southern boy.
Yeah.
No doubt about it, man. Jonathan Brooks, still up in the air. Did you know that Hubbard only has 4 weeks with less than 15 PPR points?
Right.
What a gem.
Yeah.
4.8 yards per carry last week against the Saints. Chuba is a very good, very underrated running back.
Yeah.
He really is. Until otherwise noted, he's an RB2. Like we keep saying, Brooks is coming. Well, he's not yet.
I don't know what's going on there. They activated him. He was a full participant in practice all last week, and they didn't do anything with him. So I don't know. They're clearly being cautious, which is fine. You're tanking anyway, so whatever. But I'd also like to see what our rookie running back has.
Yeah, but like we said, until that happens, he's an RB2.
Right.
I should look at some advanced metrics on him at some point. So with Jonathan Brooks, obviously his return is at some point. Would you look to buy Hubbard and Dynasty as a team who's been rebuilding and is a good off-season away from being a contender? Chuba's 25. He will be a free agent after this season.
Sure.
I think I would.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know where he lands.
It's not one of the moves that lights up the sky with fireworks, but it's working in Carolina. So if he goes anywhere, he can probably be productive wherever he goes.
Absolutely. What if Dallas gets things together a little bit better next year and they bring in Chuba? I wouldn't mind Chuba in Dallas.
That would be okay.
Rico Dowdle's not a world beater.
Right.
He could take that job.
Yeah.
So I don't know. He just seems like a guy, and maybe I'm looking at this more like for the way I build a dynasty. Maybe that's a bit of a flaw as far as like, you should do it this way. But I'm a running backs last guy when I'm building a dynasty. So if I'm one good offseason away with a rookie draft and a few offseason trades, I'm looking to buy Hubbard in that boat.
Sure.
Personally.
Sure.
Okay. Jatavian Sanders excites me as far as dynasty goes, but I just don't know about redraft.
I think he's getting there. His last 2 weeks, he's done plenty to be a starting tight end in redraft.
Yeah, well, there's the last 3 because the week before was a dud.
Right.
Dud,
2 out of 3 weeks, right?
I need to see it trend more,
right,
before I cannot trust this. And like Xavier Legette and Chuba, after that, I draw a line outside of dynasty. I'm not.
I'm in the same boat with both tight ends in this game, like Theo Johnson and JT Sanders.
Theo Johnson looked good.
I'm very excited for both of them in dynasty. Redraft, I am getting there. Not quite, but
I think it's going to be more of a next year thing.
Yeah, I think so too.
As far as redraft goes, so even then, it's tight ends growing a little bit.
Yeah,
things are starting to get a little better. So just throwing someone like Sanders or Theo Johnson in there right now, when like Gesicki and Ertz, like they're above those guys. You know? So it's and even them, there's tons of guys ahead of them.
Sure.
So I just can't find, unless you're in like a 16-man league, can't find where I would really advocate like, go ahead and start him this week. It's, he was a sneaky play for me at one point, a couple weeks ago, but and that did hit, by the way.
Right. Of course it did.
All right. You got anything else for that game?
Start the Giants defense.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the 1:00 games. We're going to start with a quick one here. The Patriots at the Bears. Jeez, man. Even against a soft Patriots defense, I'm fading every Bear outside of DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
I just can't. This is getting awful difficult to justify. Like, you should. I can't justify this anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I need to see, like Sanders, I need a trend before I can get back on this boat, man.
Right.
DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, Cole Kmet, I just don't have interest.
Yeah,
there.
like I have in my notes for Cole Kmet. Would you rather, for the future, have Cole Kmet or Theo Johnson? Like that's
like in a redraft league?
Yeah,
or I'm sorry.
Or in a dynasty.
Oh, Theo.
Yeah, right.
For sure.
And Cole Kmet's already a air quote proven tight end. And you'd already want to have Theo Johnson. That's how scary this offense is already.
In dynasty, I still have a ton of interest in Caleb Williams. I can't though, as far as redraft. I'm not touching Caleb Williams, man. Even with this softer schedule he has here coming, it does get tough after that though. So fade all Bears outside of Swift? I mean, that's so.
I thought the offense was going to be explosive, but I guess it's just the line. The line is that bad that it affects everything. I don't know.
If you have to, you have to. But I can't sit here and be like, yeah, you should go ahead and flex or wide receiver 2 for DJ Moore. I can't feel good about telling anyone to do that.
No.
But I would start Swift.
Yep.
Who piques your interest on the Patriots side? Anyone?
Drake May.
Not me, man.
I know it was like
not in Chicago against this defense. No.
Threw it up there and won the game this weekend.
Awesome play.
Sent it to overtime. Didn't win the game, but he looked great. And he's outside of when he got hurt against the Jets, but when he was playing, he looked great against a good defense. He's getting to the point where he's effective enough where you might be able to start him against good defenses.
Yeah.
I think he's trending in that direction. He does it on the ground. He is a running quarterback at times. So he's doing it in other ways.
Yeah. I don't want to start him against
the Bears. Scary, yeah.
In Chicago. I don't know. They got embarrassed last week. I wouldn't really want to toy with this defense. I don't think.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some sell high and buy low a little later at the end. But Ramondre Stevenson, he gave you another chance. You've got to sell him.
Yeah. Sell him.
It's very touchdown dependent. It's all touchdown dependent.
Yep.
You got it. This is another gift. You've gotten 2 in a row.
You know the Bears are 20th against the run, though.
Yeah, I do know that.
So could be in for another good one, but you're playing with fire. If you're thinking that, well, I can hold him for this week, and if he has another good week, then I can trade him. I just know that you are playing with fire. If you can get rid of him this week, do it.
Yeah, I'm pulling him up right now. 15 carries. Okay, so sorry. Total touches. 10 carries, 16 yards. Now it's against Tennessee.
Right.
Week before that against the Jets, 20 carries, 48 yards. It's
not good.
2.4 average. He had 21 fantasy points this week. He scored a touchdown in the air. That last one with Drake May.
Yeah.
He scored one on the ground, but he only had 16 yards. Like you said, you're playing with fire.
Yeah.
He hasn't topped 50 yards in 3 straight weeks.
Get rid of him.
Rushing, 50 yards rushing.
Yeah.
But this is another golden gift. You should take it.
Yeah.
You got anything else for this one?
No.
All right, let's move on to the 49ers at the Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield. Dude. Damn near beat the Chiefs with no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. Solidified set it and forget it for me, man.
Yeah.
I've seen enough.
I want him to win MVP so bad.
Me too. Me too.
MVP is most valuable player to your team. He's proving that he is the most valuable player on that team. Single-handedly winning games, or at least, keeping them in that game against the Chiefs is insane.
I felt bad for him at the coin toss. Mahomes won it, and Baker just looked straight up to the sky, and I'm like, yeah. Even Baker knows, great. We just gave Mahomes the ball. He's going to drive down and score a touchdown.
They got to change that rule.
I know. I agree.
Yeah.
He's tough as nails.
Yeah.
I'm starting him every week. He puts his team on his shoulders, stays confident for 4 straight quarters. He also happens to be insanely consistent as far as the fantasy football side goes.
Right.
He just finds a way, man. Outside of the obvious, I'm having a hard time starting anyone over him.
Yeah.
I don't even know what's the obvious at this point. Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson,
Jaden Daniels,
Hurts. You could make an argument for.
That's pretty much it.
He's QB2.
4.
QB2 on the season.
It's crazy.
It's not a fluke.
No.
He said 1 bad game, 9 fantasy points. Outside of that, his worst game is 19. Hell, he's only had 3 games with less than 25 fantasy points.
That's crazy.
Yeah, man, he's great. And he, again, a gem.
Yep.
Because most people didn't even draft the dude.
Right.
Kate Otten, set it and forget it.
Yep.
Smash start every week. I'm glad he's getting the target share because we're able to see like he is a much better tight end than I ever thought he was. And I think I speak for most.
Last year, I did put him on my fantasy team in one of my leagues, and I like fell in love with the guy because he doesn't wear gloves. Like I just see like Mike Ditka out on the field all over again.
Yeah.
Like so, like I fell in love with him. He didn't do amazing last year, whatever.
Nope.
So I was a year early, but this year, in a couple of drafts, I drafted him. Like I wanted him on my team because I seen the potential.
Well, let's be honest.
I did not know.
The no receivers
it clearly helps.
But now we can see like, oh, this guy's like, I thought he was like maybe around average.
Yeah.
Or maybe just a little better. He's better than that.
Yeah.
He's better than above average. He's very good. Way better after the catch than I thought he would be.
Yeah.
37 targets over the last 4 weeks. About 27 of them. You can't afford to not start Kate Otten.
No.
And you better be loaded at tight end if he's riding your bench. And you know what? You might be. Quite honestly, like I can see where this caused a problem. Trade the other guy right now.
Yeah.
Whoever that guy is, just trade him.
The only other person that I'm starting over Kate Otten is Travis Kelce.
Yeah. Yeah.
Trey McBride has a path. I do get that.
Yes.
But volume and opportunity says Kate Otten right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
all the opportunity.
I'm taking Kate Otten at the second tight end.
Fair enough. Yeah. Interest in any Tampa receivers this week?
No. I want it to be McMillan so bad.
I'm not ready for that. Dynasty, I like him.
Yeah.
It
just doesn't seem like it's
Bucky Irving or Rashad White this week.
I don't love either one. Bucky.
Yeah. He continues to outtouch White.
Yeah. White had the touchdown.
Yeah, he got the touchdown score again.
Yeah.
6 PPR points for Bucky last week and 11 for White. 6 total touches for White, 10 for Bucky.
Right.
I'll take Bucky. I mean, it's
I don't love either one of them.
Yeah.
But and this offense, which I think is a reason why Baker Mayfield has been as great as he is, they haven't changed anything since Tom Brady left. It is a pass first offense. And that is exactly what Baker Mayfield grew up in college.
Oh, for sure.
They had the spread offense and they just let him gun it. And that's what he's doing now. And this is what happens with quarterbacks when a team gives up on a guy too soon. We're seeing 2 of them right now just this year. We've seen Geno Smith a few years ago. We have Sam Darnold and Baker Mayfield doing it this year.
Yeah.
The right system gives you Baker Mayfield output.
There's also this thing where, kind of like we talked about with Russell Wilson at the beginning of the year, like he did not feel wanted or desired at all in Denver.
He didn't fit.
And now Pittsburgh's going to give him that.
Yeah.
And there's a mental aspect to that you're going to tell me that Baker didn't feel that in Cleveland?
Sure.
So this is more of a, hey, Baker, we want you here.
Yeah.
We want you here. And, we got the weapons for you and we're putting all of our faith in you. And we want you at moments to go ahead and throw the team on your shoulders and help us win.
And that's what he's done.
He feels at home. He looks like he's at home. So, I think it's
feels
awesome.
like Oklahoma for him all over.
Yeah,
it really does.
No kidding. Over to the Niners. You starting Purdy?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Jordan Mason's still questionable.
Right. If you haven't sold him yet.
Yeah. If he's out, because I don't think, are we expecting McCaffrey?
They said he could play.
Okay.
But I don't know.
He was limited today at practice.
Yeah.
So
I'm not feeling confident that he's going to play. They said that he could.
If neither one of these guys play, and McCaffrey or Mason, toss Garendo on your flex.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He's been pretty solid.
He looks solid, man.
Yeah. The Bucs are a lot better against the run than they are the pass, but he's giving you plenty of shares out of the backfield.
You're starting Debo if he plays.
Yes.
I like him a lot.
Yep.
Juwan Jennings is still questionable. I don't know if there's anything new on him.
I haven't seen anything.
Okay. Oh, there we go. He was limited. Okay. Yeah, to me, you could start Juwan Jennings as long as he plays.
Yeah, I
Right?
feel, and if he doesn't, I feel really good about Ricky Pearsall this week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you
do.
could flex him.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of buys this week. I think there's only a couple.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could see who knows, injuries on top of the couple buys. Maybe you have to, and that'd probably be all right. Starting George Kittle.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel as good as I do? I have a gut feeling about Debo going forward with health. Debo with health.
That's the thing. I never know if he's 100%.
Yeah.
If he's 100%, yeah, absolutely. But feels like every week he has a tag.
Okay, we'll talk about him in a little bit.
Sure.
All right. You have anything else for that?
No.
Okay. Let's move on to the Broncos at the Chiefs. The Bo Nix thing was fun, but
it ended.
We're gonna fade him here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I prefer to not start Javonte Williams.
No.
On volume, he was able to get 10 PPR points against the Ravens. So he maybe could get you to 10 if that's what you're looking for. I mean, it's you're playing with fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a sketchy start, but bye weeks and injuries, if you got to flex him, I think he could get you to 10. But it's risky.
That's very a risky flex.
But the problem is, if you're in that boat, I don't know where you can find any of this off of waivers. Like, you're not gonna.
Sure.
He could get 18 touches, and that wouldn't surprise me at all. It's totally common. So you're not gonna find 18 touches anywhere else,
right?
But yeah, the Chiefs are first against a running back position, as if we didn't already know that.
Yeah.
Flexing Cortland Sutton this week.
Yeah, just volume and opportunity.
Yeah, and he's a receiver 3 in 3 receiver leagues.
Yeah, I think so.
Target hog again last week with 10, caught 7 for 122, even threw a touchdown to Bo.
Sure did.
24 PPR points, man.
Yeah.
Somebody has to do something in this offense, and this is chasing volume.
Yep.
It's literally all it is. And it's kind of ugly, but he gets you there.
Yep.
Those who stuck with Mahomes, which I imagine was the vast majority, were finally rewarded last week. He topped 20 fantasy points for the first time this year in 5-point per passing touchdown leagues.
That's ridiculous.
26. Can we lean into this?
Sure. I feel like this happened in the Super Bowl too against the Eagles, where he gets hurt and you're like, there's no way he can play again.
Right.
When his leg did that thing.
Oof. Oh, looked gross.
And then he goes in the blue tent and comes out smiling and happy. I'm like, they just pumped him with the good stuff because he's ready to go.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but that did not look good.
No, it looked really weird. But he's been dealing with that ankle. I mean, I don't know. He was awful joyful.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if I can. I kind of want to lean into it because of Hopkins. Like it
looked good.
Kind of created something that they needed.
Yeah.
You called that.
Yeah.
Hopkins had his first boom week as Chief.
Looked good.
Good call, man. It looked right.
Yeah.
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 Bird person started him.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to me, Bird person.
This is going to work with DeAndre.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
So, Nick, what is DeAndre Hopkins' rest of season?
Wide receiver 1. He fills that Rice role. Rice was a wide receiver 1 before he went down.
Give me 2 till further notice.
Okay.
I could see that changing.
Yeah.
I just let me see that again.
Yeah.
Let me see that again. Kelsey, back to tight end 1 conversation.
Yeah, I think so.
Back-to-back weeks with over 20 PPR points. 24 catches on 38 targets over 2 weeks.
Yeah. And since week 5, they had a bye week in their week 6. He's had 43 catches on 64 targets. That's really good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah. Give me some Kelsey.
Yeah. He's only found the end zone once.
How many people you suppose traded him early?
Probably nobody.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think people were like,
too many
it'll
people
happen.
trusted Kelsey.
Yeah, it'll happen.
Oh, his brother's in some hot water, maybe.
Whatever. That's
Dude, that guy had it
so
coming.
bogus.
You can't walk around doing that to people, man.
Yeah, and I love the way Jason Kelsey on Monday night, he apologized for his actions and like how that's not like him, and he's sorry that he did what he did, but he never apologized to the guy.
No, that guy was harping the hell out of him.
Yeah, doesn't deserve it.
No.
So
you can't just go around doing that to people, man. And
it's how you go up to a Hall of Fame center who's been protecting his little brother his entire life and say something like that.
Yes.
You deserve everything you get and more. He's lucky.
Yeah.
Jason Kelsey's a good guy because that could have went south real bad.
Yep. He really is, man. I wouldn't, you know what, if it went a little south, I probably would have been like, well, you don't do that to people, man.
You don't.
Who was the guy who was taunting Mike? There was a guy taunting Mike Tyson on an airplane like a year ago.
Yeah.
And Mike Tyson turned around and just popped him right in the face. It's like, what are you doing? What do you think
people
you are
crazy?
I don't know what goes through people's
these
minds,
days.
man. Like, I'm just going to sit here and taunt Mike Tyson.
Say whatever you want.
And take multiple warnings and just keep doing it. Like, I don't know, man.
Stupid.
The internet has made people do some things. They get comfy behind the screen, and then Kelsey smashes your screen.
Yeah, right.
Until Pacheco is back, he is going to go ahead and keep starting Hunt as your RB2. Yep. Hunt has played 5 games. He has 5 touchdowns. The workload's unreal. Can't avoid it.
Yep.
28 total touches last week, 18 PPR points. He's getting over 20 touches a game, essentially. Like, you can't.
And I think he gets that too. I think he gets that again this week. Just temper your expectations a little bit because the Broncos are a good defense.
They are.
Yeah.
Division games can always be.
They did just trade Baron Browning though, so I mean, maybe that changes.
worth.
Yeah, maybe that changes something. But I don't know. I still starting him regardless.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You got anything else for this?
Xavier Worthy should have had 2 catches last week, and one of them should have been a touchdown.
Yep, like 30 some yards.
Yep.
Yeah.
Disappointing, but yep. That's it. That's all I got.
How do you feel about him in Dynasty?
I like him in Dynasty.
Still hope?
Yeah, I still have hope for him.
Yeah, me too. I don't know. The talent's too unreal.
Yeah.
But for redraft, it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's tough. That's it?
That's it.
All right, let's move on to the Bills at the Colts. Man, I'm kind of disappointed with what we got out of the Colts last week. At this point, my interest lies in Josh Downs and Jonathan Taylor only.
Mine is Jonathan Taylor only.
Why? You have no interest in Josh Downs in your flex?
No. Bench, sure. Keep him on the bench. But I think that there's better receivers you can start every week over him.
I don't know about. Well,
at this point in the year, you've already got guys off.
He's number
of waivers.
24. He's ranked 24th. So it's like
the offense is bad.
I understand that. He has 2 single-digit weeks. That's it.
Hasn't he only played?
He's played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games.
Played 7 games already?
Yeah. He has a 5 and a 1. Outside that, he's got a 22, a 15, a 19, a 21, and a 13. He's in every week flex, in my opinion. I'll flex him all year long.
I don't know. It scares me, but I don't know.
Playoff schedule's tough.
It's got to just be the offense that's putting me off of it.
Sure, I understand that.
Like kind of the Cortland Sutton thing. It looks bad on paper, but he is getting it done.
Yeah, that would be my argument. Like, you're starting Sutton and feeling confident, right?
Right.
He hasn't done anything any worse.
Sure.
Matter of fact, like some weeks, almost a little better.
Right.
Yeah, listen, I've done the metrics or gone over the metrics and the advanced stats and stuff like that. And outside of the eye test as well, like, I think this kid's just really good. I think he's able to elevate the situation he's thrust into, if that makes sense.
Sure.
But I mean, zero interest in Pittman.
Yeah. No, like I have here Downs, Pittman, and then Adonai Mitchell in that order.
Sure.
So I mean, if I'm gonna play a receiver from there, it's gonna be Downs.
I'm going to go back and look at Downs when he near the end of the season. I want to see how well this stuff maintains. You can run on the Bills. Jonathan Taylor should be fine.
Yeah.
I think the Bills are like 31st against the running back position. So I think bounce back this week is in order for him after having to deal with the Vikings.
Yeah, I think so.
Josh Allen, you know what to do. He's fantastic. Mac Hollins led the Bills receivers with 14 PPR points last week. Coleman left early. There was no Cooper. Khalil Shakir led in targets, 11 PPR points, decent flex numbers, but I still think he has his upsides.
Yeah.
Pretty phenomenal.
Yeah.
We'll have to keep our eyes on Coleman and Cooper. Do you know anything?
I haven't seen anything.
I can pull it up real quick here.
Yeah. Josh Allen's like a smash start this week, though.
Oh, yeah.
Against the Colts. I mean, he's
every
clearly a
week,
smart
but yeah.
smash start every week, but
Yeah.
this is even more so. Like, this would be a week where I'm pounding the table for it. He might not be on my boom list later, but he is. I'm pounding the table for the guy.
Yeah. Coleman did not practice today, Wednesday.
Doesn't sound good.
No, he's still being evaluated per McDermott. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. And as far as Amari Cooper goes, he was limited Wednesday.
Yeah,
so
that's not good.
Well, limited is what you want to hear instead of did not practice.
Sure,
so
yeah.
At least you get that. Right. But I mean, if neither of them play, that's a boost for Shakir. It's a boost for Kincaid.
Apparently,
Kincaid's getting tough to start.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Apparently a boost for Mac Hollins.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, it would be. I would rather go elsewhere, but
Yeah.
that's awful tough to trust.
Yeah.
The thing with Kincaid, it's really hard to bench a tight end who consistently gets 7 targets. He just had 10. I assume that's probably due to no Cooper and Coleman leaving early, but listen, if Coleman and Cooper are out, it's really hard to not start Kincaid.
Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, I put here Dalton Kincaid over Dalton Schultz. If it makes you feel any better.
I'm going to sleep so much better tonight. Hey, let's say all these guys play. Cooper, Coleman, Shakir. You can only pick one. Who is it?
Redraft?
To start this week.
Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
You're starting James Cook, but you better have Ray Davis on your bench.
Yes.
I'm going to take a victory lap on Ray Davis
I
from the
might
preseason.
even flex him this week.
You might be able to. You better be in a deep league, though.
Yeah.
Kid's electric.
He's really good.
He is every bit as important as Charbonnet is to Walker, as Algier is to Bijan,
Yep.
as Corum is to Kyron Williams.
Braylon Allen to Brees Hall.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is an important one.
Yeah.
Ray Davis needs to be on your roster if you have James Cook. And if he's available and you don't have James Cook, he also should be on your roster.
Yeah.
Just stick him on your bench.
Yep.
Who knows? And maybe you could get a little something out of him to the Cook owner.
Yep.
Anything else for this one?
I don't think so.
Nope, me neither. Let's move on to the Steelers at the Commanders. Not much on bye this week, but if you had Jordan Love, would you spot start Russell Wilson?
Yes.
Russ or Goff at Houston?
Russ
or Rodgers at Arizona?
Russ.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marshawn Lattimore. He's a Commander now.
It's fun.
You're starting Pickens in the flex at minimum, most likely anyway. Does Lattimore give you any concern regarding Pickens?
The combination of that and the addition of Mike Williams makes me question George Pickens.
That doesn't bother me this week. The guy just landed there essentially, right? Going forward, maybe, because
Mike Williams
big jump balls is what Mike Williams does,
and George Pickens does that too.
Sure, it might take a little something away.
I think Tomlin's a good enough coach to where he is going to make sure that Pickens now is able to do more than just go down the sideline and catch a ball.
This actually might be.
I think it might help Pickens.
Yeah.
In the long run.
Okay. I'll go to the other side of that. Mike Williams does not bother me yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Just because we haven't seen it now.
Yeah, sure.
That can change pretty quick.
Yeah.
Najee Harris. He's been very efficient. 3 straight. Against Vegas, the Jets, and the Giants, he averaged 6.2 yards per carry on 54 total carries in those 3 games. 19, 16, and 15 PPR points in those 3 games. 2 touchdowns in those 3 games. Schedule for the rest of the year. Washington, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland. Playoffs, Philly, Baltimore, Kansas City. Are you going to lean into this?
I would like to play him this week and then trade him.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
I do have concern rest of season, quite honestly.
Yeah.
But again, we'll touch on Harris here in a little bit. Once again, you're starting Daniels every single week.
Yep.
Matchup proof, one way or the other. He gets you there.
Yep.
Pass catchers for Washington, McLaurin and Ertz, and they're the only ones I'm interested in. That's it.
Correct.
Ertz only saw 1 target last week. And again, I'm not super interested in Ertz, but I'll start him if I need to.
Yeah.
Only 1 target last week. That's got to change this week, right?
Yeah.
Usually sees around like 6 targets a game.
Yeah, it should go up.
Still calling McLaurin a receiver too?
Yes.
15 points last week. He basically scores 15 PPR points every week with the ability to get you over 20. Listen, he's a receiver too. That's what they are. 14, 15, 16 points every single
Fills
week.
it perfectly.
14 to 15 is a receiver too, like on a steady clip.
Yep.
So he's a receiver too with 1 upside for the rest of the season.
Agree.
Okay. Brian Robinson dealing with a hamstring injury still. Or is it knee? Actually, I think it's hamstring. If he plays, where are we with him?
Lately,
And Eckler.
Lately he's been good.
Yeah.
28 carries, 136 yards in the last 2 weeks with a touchdown. I think he's still fine to start him. Running back 2. I would be okay with that.
Steelers defense is 11th against the running back position. It's
Yeah, I'm going off of volume.
sure, fair enough. I'm not going to argue with that ever.
But
About
Eckler, I think, is a flex option.
I think he might be too, especially if Robinson doesn't play. But even if he does, still think you can flex him?
I think so.
Yeah, flex faith.
11 carries, 42 yards, touchdown, 3 catches, 41 yards last week.
Yeah, 17 PPR points.
Like that's better, technically better than flex, but
Yeah,
you're flexing Eckler and not going higher than that. That's like his boom week,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Anything else here?
Pat Freiermuth has been real disappointing this year.
I can't. I just can't.
Nope.
I would buy low on him in Dynasty.
Really low.
Really low.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, let's move on to the Vikings at the Jaguars. Sam Darnold. Where we see him here this week, Nick?
I expect him to be a top end fantasy quarterback again.
Yeah, Jags are 31st against the pass, allowing the most touchdowns in the air through not like 9 weeks here. So top 3, top 4 finish.
I'm got him in my top 3 this week.
I'll give it top 5.
Yeah.
Aaron Jones. Let me pull up Aaron Jones here real quick because I believe I don't want to make this up. Jacksonville, Tennessee, Chicago, the next 3, then Arizona, Atlanta. Playoffs, Chicago, Seattle, Green Bay. It's not the worst.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate that. The Tennessee in week 11 can be tough, but outside of that, I'm not real worried about Aaron Jones. The volume's there.
Yep.
Give me some Aaron Jones, man. Who's the handcuff? It's Cam Akers, is it? Right?
Yeah, I think so.
It feels that way, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels that way.
Again, the volume, last 3 weeks, 14 carries, 19 carries, 21 carries, 9 total catches over those 3 weeks. I mean,
is it crazy with all that volume that he's only gone over 100 yards once?
Yeah.
On the ground.
Yeah, he's been close. 93, 93, 94, 102. So that he has been very close.
He's right there every week.
Yeah, it just...
If you're in like a 100+ yard rush boost league, you're like, come on, man, just run the ball one more time.
Yeah, he's He looks good.
Yeah, he does.
Any fear of him wearing down at all on you?
No, we
volume?
were a couple weeks ago after he came back from his hamstring. We were like, it's an older running back.
Yeah.
We'd be a little bit worried about it, but I don't think so. He seems fine.
Okay.
This might be the last week you get out, or the last year you get out of him. So go for it now,
Smash start Jefferson every week.
Yeah.
Jordan Addison. What do you think?
I think flex with wide receiver 2 upside this week.
I can agree with that.
Yep.
Hawkinson. Just kind of easing him in, right?
Yep. Seemed like it.
I think it'll grow as we get going here.
Yeah.
Start him?
I think you can against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe they give him a chance to be like, hey, we're going to get you in the end zone this week.
Welcome
back.
I want to throw all the Vikings in this week. I want to start everybody I can. So.
I'm hoping for a welcome back game.
Yeah, I think so.
What are we doing with Jaguars?
I don't know. I love Trevor Lawrence, but I don't know.
I'm not starting ETN. I'm not starting Bigsby.
No. Now the Vikings are 28th against the pass.
Yeah.
As long as he's got healthy receivers, which Kirk's done for the year, that's off the table. But as long as BTJ is healthy, there's something there. Ingram, as long as he's playing, there's something there. So I think he can give you enough, but you're wanting him in a super flex.
Oh, for sure.
I don't
want QB. I got no interest.
Yeah.
Evan Ingram every week though.
Oh yeah,
every week.
Yeah.
And BTJ.
BTJ's the same way.
Yep, every week.
Yep.
But yeah, I don't have any interest in any of the other no Gabe Davis. No, I just don't want any of that.
No.
Okay. Anything else here?
I don't think so.
Okay. Falcons at the Saints. We can make the Saints real quick. Start Kamara. Taysom Hill probably is going to see an uptick. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I have to assume Chris Olave misses at least one game here. It's
I'm
Kamara
not convinced Derek Carr didn't try to kill him on purpose.
That was a hospital ball. My good Lord, man. That's terrible.
And it's crazy that Michael Thomas is on social media a week ago saying all this guy does is throw hospital balls. And then the game after the tweet, he throws a hospital ball and literally puts his guy in the hospital.
Yeah. Yep. What about Taysom Hill? Tough.
I don't know. My friends know that Taysom Hill is one of my favorite players in the NFL because he's the do-it-all gadget guy. So I love Taysom Hill, but not for fantasy purposes.
Yeah, he makes it really, really tough.
Yeah.
The Saints defense just isn't really any good. So
it just got worse.
Yep. I think Cousins is going to have a great game. I think I like him this week.
Yeah.
The Saints are allowing about 240 passing yards per game. That's pre-losing Lattimore, so it's only going to get worse. I think Cousins gets you, what you need, even if Drake London is out.
Yeah.
He is currently day-to-day with a hip injury. Keep an eye on that.
Sure.
Darnell Mooney is a flex with receiver 2 upside still, but man, he looks so good.
He does. He's putting wide receiver numbers up almost every week.
Wide receiver 2 numbers.
Yeah.
Yep. I said this before. I'm really glad he's gotten a second chance.
I'm okay starting him wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Every week.
A lot of guys like him get tossed by the wayside. You know what I mean? I'm just so glad that just because it didn't work there in Chicago, and you can get tossed to the side pretty quick in the NFL, forgotten about, and he's taken advantage of this chance. If I have him, other than a bye, he's not leaving my flex spot.
Yep.
About 14 PPR points every week. That is inflated by a 30-point performance. So
yeah.
But he's pushing receiver 2 status. He's a flex with receiver 2 upside.
Sure.
If London is out, slight bump for McLeod. No.
He's falling out of favor there. Okay. It seems.
How about Pitts?
I think so.
That's where the bump is. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
But though, just when we had some consistency,
I told you. You guys started to talk too nice about him. I told you.
Do you trust in consistency to come back this week?
Absolutely not. He stinks. I hate him.
Start Kyle Pitts. I just hope he's not fooling us here.
Yeah, I genuinely, I think he'll be fine.
Yeah.
I think this is a good week for him.
Yeah.
but he stinks poo poo. So
what?
I had to say something bad about the guy, or he's not going to play good. So,
as far as Bijan, you know what to do.
Yeah.
Algier did vulture a touchdown last week. We warned you that this would be annoying Tyler more than me. He was right. This is very annoying. However, Bijan did outtouch Algier 26-6 and did gain you 20 PPR points to Algier's 7. You're definitely happy with it.
I'm still on the boat from a few weeks ago when we brought it up that you could probably sell Bijan really, really high.
Yeah.
I'm still on that boat with you. I think you could sell him really, really high.
Oh, Corey. At the end of the day, though, for real life reasons, Atlanta is doing the right thing with Bijan and Algier,
yes,
and not just running Bijan's wheels straight off of him. This is actually good for fantasy because it'll keep him around a little longer.
Yep.
But yeah, I think you could sell Bijan high,
very, very high,
and you could get a pretty solid receiver and a pretty solid running back. I would think.
Yeah,
I would think.
I wouldn't trade him for 2 running backs, but that's just me. I don't know.
Oh no. People are hearing this and they're like, what's the context to this? Is this an inside joke? Yes, it is. And we're not going to pick on our friend too harshly.
Yeah.
He knows who he is. He knows what he did. And we are big fans of his.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything else for that game?
No.
Okay. Let's move on to Nick's Week 10 boom list.
I love that every week. I love it. Surprise, surprise. Guess who's here? Sam Darnold, QB1. Every week he's been here for me. Give me Sam Darnold versus the Jags. They're 31st against the pass. You can't go wrong. Then I have Brock Purdy going against the Bucs, 30th against the pass. So I actually took Bo Nix out of my lineup for the first time in 3 weeks. So that's cool. Then I have running back 1, Saquon Barkley, going against the Cowboys. They're 30th against the run. I love that matchup. And he's been a Cowboy killer as a Giant, so why wouldn't it carry over as an Eagle? Breece Hall versus the Cardinals. They're 22nd versus the run. It feels like a get-right game for the Jets, and Breece Hall is going to be a big part of that. Then I have Justin Jefferson pairing him with Sam Darnold, going against the Jags. 31st against the pass, like I said. You're starting him every week, but this one I think this is the 40-point week that we wanted to see from Jay Jettas. Then my wide receiver 2 this week's Darnell Mooney versus the Saints, 27th versus the pass. No Marshawn Lattimore, potentially no Drake London. Increases Darnell Mooney even more for me. Tight end 1 this week, I have George Kittle versus the Bucs. They're 30th against the pass. So I'm pairing him with Brock Purdy in that. I think George Kittle's he's having a great year, so it should continue. And then my defense 1 is Giants versus the Panthers in Munich.
I like it. I like it a lot. Let's move on to something a little new here. For redraft, let's do some sell high players. I'll start, and I will start with Najee Harris. Touched on him a little bit earlier. I don't expect this to continue. Don't know if he can keep the efficiency up with the touches. The touches are good. The volume's there. Usually we say follow volume, right? This is a chance I think you can sell high. You get to the playoffs. I'm not feeling good about having to deal with Philly, Kansas City, and Baltimore. That's tough. That's really, really
it's a
tough.
Gauntlet.
So I would sell high on Najee Harris now, right now.
Yep.
I would not wait another week. I would do it now. My second sell high is Joe Mixon. Very similar reason. Week 15, 16, and 17, he sees Miami. That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Then Kansas City and Baltimore.
Yeah, that's tough.
So, I mean, that's, oh man, him and Najee both. Just gotta. And also on top of that, I love volume and usage, but this is you're pushing around 30 touches a week here.
Yeah.
This is it's great for right now and all. It is. It's great for right now, but even, before he gets to the week 15, 16, and 17 playoffs, he's got to deal with Detroit this week. Dallas, that's fine. Then he's got to deal with Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville, that's great. And then you lose them for week 14 if you're trying to get into the playoffs. And then you have Miami, which if you get in is fine, but then Kansas City, Baltimore. That on top of the usage worries me. I don't know if he can make it all the way. I would sell Joe Mixon for, again, health concerns. He's already been hurt once, and that schedule's brutal.
Yeah.
And my third sell high is another running back is DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
I've seen this too many times.
Yep.
I've seen him go south quickly. I just don't. Don't want to lean on a bear.
Yeah, and he's another guy who's got a gauntlet for rush defenses. He's got a gauntlet coming up too.
He does,
because a lot of it is in division games.
Yes. Week 15, 16, and 17, Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle. Seattle's probably fine.
Sure.
But even leading up to that, he's got to deal with Minnesota, Detroit, San Fran. Like, it's just...
Yep. He's got Green Bay, Detroit, San Fran, Minnesota, Detroit, Seattle, then Green Bay through the rest of the season. Not counting this week.
Right.
So that's tough.
Yeah. So they're my sell highs.
Yeah.
What do you got, Nick? Don't you say it.
You're not going to like it, but J.K. Dobbins is my sell high.
Why?
J.K. Dobbins gets to go against Tennessee, Cincinnati, who you could probably get away with it, Baltimore, Atlanta, then Kansas City, then Tampa Bay, then Denver.
Not too concerned about the Tampa thing, but
sure.
So you're saying what's 15, 16, and 17?
15, 16, 17. He's got KC, Tampa, Denver.
Tough. That's tough.
Yeah.
Yep.
And just moving forward too, if you're trying to fight into the playoffs, I'm 4-5 in a league. I have DeAndre Swift. I have to fight to get in. I got to get through Tennessee and Baltimore over the next 4 weeks. That scares me. So I'd like to get rid of them if I could.
Okay.
Another one I have, Brian Thomas Jr. I know I've talked the guy up so much. The way that offense is starting to go is just, it's a scary sight. And he's got to go against Detroit, who's probably fine against the pass. You might be able to get away with it, but they've been getting better. Then Houston, then Tennessee, then the Jets. So Tennessee, Jets back-to-back. Las Vegas, which you could probably get away with. And then Tennessee again.
Yeah, that's tough.
It's another tough. For me, sell highs are guys who have tough schedules, but the name value's there and people are going to pay.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying attention like you are.
Yep.
My last one for sell high, Tucker Kraft. We've been super high on him lately, and he has been performing really well. But he's got Chicago, San Fran, Miami, Detroit, Seattle, New Orleans, which you can get away with, and then Minnesota, who's been getting better every week too.
Okay.
Tough schedule.
Okay. That's your 3?
Yep.
All right, let's move on to some buy low players for redraft. I will start with mine. I'm going to begin with Breece Hall. Cupcake schedule coming.
Yep.
The Jets are starting to gel, I think. Give me Breece Hall's talent against this super, super soft schedule. I think everything my guess is things are really going to start clicking here.
Mm-hmm.
And if you do buy him, make sure you get Braylon Allen in the trade. Correct. Or if he's not there, you make sure as soon as that trade happens, go get him.
Yeah. Have them both ready at the same time.
We'll just go through the real quick here. From this week, it's Arizona and then Indy. Then he's on bye week 12. Week 13 is Seattle. Week 14 is Miami. Then the playoffs, 15, 16, and 17, Jacksonville, Rams, Buffalo. Love it.
Easy.
I tried today. I tried trading Joe Mixon straight up for Breece Hall.
It?
Nope.
Really?
Nope. He's like, I really like his schedule. And I'm like, me too.
You know too much.
Yeah. It's my brother. He listens.
Yeah.
Deebo Samuel is my next one. I think he's a bit of an easier get. He's got the questionable tag right now. There's no Ayuk. This is barring health. This is a little more of a risky buy low, but because it's a buy low, it should feel okay. You're going to have to give a little something up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's just go with his playoff schedule, week 15, because you're going to start him if you get him regardless. But the beauty of it, with health in the playoffs, Rams, Miami, Detroit. Say what you want about Miami. I don't think they're that good. Oh, they're past you. They're not that good.
Sure.
And you're going to tell me about the corner that's there, Jalen Ramsey. Debo's got that dude's number year in and out. So, yeah, give me some Debo. I like that buy. And, again, he's got the questionable tag, so right now.
Yep.
And this third one, I don't know how much people are buying into the Jets, but Devontae Adams, if you still can.
If you can.
The gelling is coming. Again, I just talked about Breece Hall's schedule. We don't need to do that again. He's going to be fine, I think.
Yep.
So, yeah, Breece Hall, Debo Samuel, Devontae Adams, buy low.
Okay.
All right, what do you got?
Justin Herbert for QB. Haven't really mentioned QBs, so figured I'd give you one. Justin Herbert goes against Cincinnati, then Baltimore. That's a tough matchup. But then it's Atlanta, KC, a tough matchup. Then he gets Cupcake, Tampa Bay, Denver, New England. Denver, they've been slumping lately.
Yeah. You could probably get him off waivers.
You probably could. Yep.
Yeah, if you're streaming guys, you could even hold two and just have somebody prepared for that Denver game and just swap out Herbert.
Sure.
The
KC and the Denver game. Just swap them out for somebody else. Yep. I had somebody else. I'm switching ways because I bought this guy earlier, knowing the schedule towards the end of the year. Mike Evans, the Tampa Bay schedule for the end of the season is as cupcake as it gets.
Yep. I just traded for Baker in a league.
Yeah. You want your Bucks.
Yep.
Bad. He's going to come back from injury after the bye week. So after the bye week, they have the Giants, Carolina, Las Vegas, the Chargers, Dallas, Carolina. That's as easy as the schedule comes.
Chargers could be tough.
Sure.
But yes.
The rest of the schedule is nothing.
Yeah. And we're talking Mike Evans here. Like outside of Lattimore, I'll put him up against anybody.
Yeah, right. Now he doesn't have to worry about it anymore.
That's right.
And then JT Sanders, we talked about him. Again, you could probably get him off of the waivers.
Right.
But
if you're struggling there.
Yeah, it's only been going up. He did have one down week, but out of the last 3 weeks, he's had 2 great weeks. He's got KC, Tampa, Philly, Dallas, Arizona, Tampa. So Dallas, Arizona. This is more for when you're in the playoffs.
Yes.
And he's finally hit. You can probably throw him in your lineup weeks 15, 16, 17.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, maybe you've been riding like Zach Ertz all year. We keep bringing him up, but he's a guy who's a great ad.
Yeah.
And maybe he gets a little dinged up. Who knows? He's probably JT Sanders. I think you could, at minimum, you can stash him.
Yeah,
for sure. And if you get to that point where it's like, oh, my tight end's beat up, I'm glad I picked up JT Sanders. His matchups are great.
Yep.
So, it's a bit of a long shot, maybe a little more deeper league.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate it.
Sure.
All right. Okay, that's it for sell high and buy low. Do you have any final thoughts, Nick, at all?
Mitchell, get yourself some Girl Scout cookies.
I'll try them, man. I got my list.
you gotta get in there.
The tag-alongs are the best.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
Thin mints are amazing.
And I would like you to try a Samoa.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
That'll be my 3 when I get an opportunity.
The s'more one. Get the s'more one.
Yeah.
I talked that one up too.
Yeah,
the fudge is really good. So
Girl Scouts do still exist. Just find some kid who's selling them and buy a handful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Anybody? Final thoughts, Mitchell?
If you see Jason Kelsey, don't say ignorant, arrogant things to him about his brother.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Don't do it. He will smash your phone.
Yep.
And you deserve it.
Yes.
Exactly.
And I will not feel sorry for that.
I totally agree. I would just say, listen, man, don't be afraid to make those moves. Like it's schedules are tough for a reason. Maybe try to avoid some of these matchups if you can, and don't get burned.
Yep.
Get value, get real value for when we say sell high, sell high.
When
we say buy low, sell high. When we say buy low, we mean give something that's not going to hurt you, but it's going to grow.
Right.
All right. Okay, that's it for today's show. Again, as always, thank you all so much for tuning in and giving us your support. Remember, our PPR Superflex Dynasty rankings are now available in the description. Just click the corresponding link. They are available as well on our Twitter. Also, check the description for instructions on how to get your trades graded. Join us next time for our Week 10, 4 o'clock Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Football game slate preview. Remember, like, follow, and subscribe to our Spotify, Twitter, and YouTube. It's how we survive. See you next time, everybody.
See ya.